All right, welcome to another win day. Happy win day to everybody that's on. I appreciate you guys hopping on every Wednesday. We get on and pretty much make sure we touch bases, share resources, share knowledge, and share our wins for the moment, for the most part. Um, Today, I actually want to touch on funding and investment. I know every week we touch on a different topic, and just touch on different resources. If you've been on before, you already know how it go. Make sure you guys blow up the chat, introduce yourselves in the chat, post your website, social medias, and all of that good stuff. Also post where you're listening in from. I know we always every week we have people typing in from different places, so I just want to see something. So make sure you guys blow up that chat. Again today, I wanted to really touch on some key elements when it comes to funding and investments. And I want to make sure that, I answer any questions that you guys may have as well. I always call it the big three, the big three problems that most businesses have trouble with, which is capital, education, and team building. So I want to make sure that we touch on those things and make sure that you guys are moving forward. Again, make sure you guys take this opportunity to introduce yourselves in the chat, post your websites, post your social medias, and post where you're listening in from. We're gonna kick it off by letting you guys introduce yourself, and then I want to get into our icebreaker question for today, which is if an investor offered you unlimited funding, but only if you can explain your business idea in 30 seconds using only three words, what would those three words be and why? So I'm gonna let you guys think on that for a minute. Meanwhile, make sure you guys blow up the chat, go ahead and introduce yourselves in the chat, post your websites, post your social medias, and make sure you guys follow somebody else's social media. That's what it's all about, making sure that we connect with each other, connect the dots. You just never know who you might be able to connect on, to connect with, and that's what it's all about. So, um, like we do every single week, I'm just gonna pretty much go down this list and calling you guys one by one. Again, this week I'm gonna have you guys introduce yourself. We're gonna talk about one problem that you're solving within the community, and then we're gonna we're gonna do it like last week. I want you guys to give me one challenge that you're having with your company, and then we're gonna go right into the icebreaker question, which is if an investor offers you unlimited funding, but only if you could explain your business idea in 30 seconds using three words, what would those three words be and why? So if I can get Miss Angeline first real quick. How you doing, Queen?
I am here.
How's it going? How's it going? How's it going?
Mm, mm, I don't know if you want me talking today.
Continues.
I have had a week that has been chaotic and sort of crazy,
That's what
but
that's what comes with it. That's what comes with it.
I, it's off the chain. But I'm gonna bring it on down. I quit for a minute. I am Angeline Payne. I am a presidential candidate for the 2024 election. And this week has been amazing. This is the countdown to the election. This is week number 3. And we are steadily working to make sure that we get enough exposure out to the community to let people understand why they're voting and who they're voting for. And at this point, we're finding out a lot of people are uneducated as far as being a voter. They are still listening to the vote down the ballot. We have individuals who are being paid and what we call clickbaiting our seniors to healthcare places where they're giving them $100 gift cards and 8-inch tablets to take home a Harris and Wolf sign. So we know it's unethical, but as far as the ethics department is concerned, as long as it's not the candidate doing it, then it's not unethical. So we have an issue with that. Because ethically, we would not do that. That is wrong to do to seniors, first of all, our elders. And then to clickbait them like that is ridiculous, especially in real time. So we're working to make sure that we're educating our citizenry. We're going on a radio station, WIGO, on next Sunday to do our community civics 101 class so that we can educate us on how to vet candidates and then what to do after we hire these candidates. So we're really in the realm of the educational part of the three big that you just talked about.
Most definitely. We need it. We need it.
Without a doubt, I mean, just talking to people, talking about they're voting for somebody they don't know nothing about is unbelievable.
Definitely.
Because just as when I talk to these investors, the three things that I will say is our children's future.
I love that. I love it. I love it. That was perfect. I'm invested. I'm invested. I love it. I love it. I appreciate it. Sure. So real quick, like what's one challenge that you're having? I know it's hard to educate people, especially, grown folk, but what's one challenge that you really is looking to overcome right now?
At this point in juncture, we're really just looking at getting venues to get exposure from now into the day of the election.
Okay.
Because that information is the most important thing that people need, because the mainstream media is ran by the Democrat and the Republican Party. So you're not going to get information that's pertinent for you to be able to make a decision. You're just going to get rhetoric, propaganda, and he said, she said. That is not enough information for you to make a decision on your children's future. So we need to be on these podcasts where no one really has a buy-in to either of those parties. And they're going to ask you some questions that's really going to matter to this country, which is the future of our children.
Most definitely, most definitely. I think it's about that time for us to have another community discussion, and definitely make sure you post the link for your Zoom for tomorrow in the chat. We definitely
Okay.
we'll
It's
send
gonna
it.
be it's gonna be next Monday. So I'll get the link this weekend and then I'll send it to you so you can send it out.
Okay, perfect, perfect,
Okay,
perfect.
and can I do a plug?
Most definitely. Let's do it.
For the election, we're having a watch party at the Chemic Club in East Point, and definitely everybody is invited. And CC know about our cocktail parties.
I love it. Yeah, make sure.
We're gonna turn it out. We're gonna turn it out. So yes, everybody's invited. You guys need to come out, and we're just gonna have a good time on election night. It will be an educational piece because you'll get to hear about my entire 2-year journey running for president for the first time.
I love
And
it.
we'll have a candidate who's running for commissioner chair in Douglas County.
Okay. Yeah, send
Mhm.
me that flyer. We're gonna get it out for sure.
All right, all right.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. What we got next? Can I get Barry on next?
Good evening.
Good evening. Good evening. Good evening. So real quick, introduce yourself to the people, and then give us one thing that your company or your organization is doing. What one problem that your organization is solving within the community?
All right. My name is Raynell Berry. I'm the owner of Burning Vibes. So we are a candle company with candles inspired by video games, anime, comic books, and more of the nerd kingdom. Um, so one thing that we're doing for the community is we're adding more of, you know, melanated faces to the community because that is something that's not really seen. So by connecting with video gamers and anime fans, that there are a lot of us that are um, fans of all that stuff because usually that's not we're not seen at the forefront of that, and we're actually going to be able to eventually open up job opportunities as the business grows and expands. So that's what we're adding back to it.
I love it. I love it. We all about creating jobs for sure. So what's one challenge that you're facing with your business right now?
Current challenge that we're facing right now would be just reaching fully our target market. We just started selling back in July, so our website has only been live for roughly 3 months, but we are just looking to get in contact with people. So we are doing marketing right now, basically between Facebook and Instagram.
Okay, 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 okay. Yeah, that digital marketing can definitely be a beast for sure. I know we was talking about that the other day, so hopefully we can get you on board one of these days so we can, get our experts to help you out with that side of it. And here I got a bunch of different ideas that we can do with that. Especially being an anime fan myself, so definitely, 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 got to get you on board. So, just to go into the icebreaker question, if an investor offered you a limited amount of funding, but only if you could explain your business idea in 30 seconds using 3 words, what would those 3 words be and why?
Those three words would be candles, nerds, unique. Um, Pretty much candles because obviously candle companies so want to know what we're selling, what we're offering.
Mhm.
Nerds because I think that speaks for myself and the rest of the community that I'm trying to just connect with and build that relationship with. And then unique because since our idea behind each candle is to be directly inspired by different characteristics or landscapes of all the different forms of media, it's going to make our process completely unique. You're not just going to see a lavender candle, on our shelves. There's going to be some combination to make you represent those characters and places.
I love it. I love it. I love it. I appreciate you. I appreciate you. What else we got? Farmer P, what's going on?
Hi. Good evening.
Good evening, good evening, good evening. Go ahead and introduce yourself real quick and give us one problem that your company is solving in the community.
Food insecurity, organic food.
I love it. I love it. I love it. Organic. That's the key word for sure. So what's one challenge that you're having right now? I know you've been in the process of getting some more land, but what's one of the challenges that you have that you're over?
Um, Getting more um community buy-in,
Okay, okay.
and I guess also getting our company out there more.
Most definitely.
Yeah.
I'm gonna actually send you a link to I know we've been working with some more organizations that's been really helping get helping with the funding aspect of it. Um Skip is one of them. Shout out to Dr. Adam for recommending this to them. They've been doing a great job every single week. They've been, pretty much funding different businesses, different orgs. So I'm gonna definitely send you that link so you can set up a profile. Actually, send me that link real quick because I'm gonna actually post it in the chat for all of you guys. Every Tuesday, actually, every Tuesday and Friday, they actually do a random draw where they give out $1,000 grant, and then they give out a $5,000 grant, and then they have access to other grants. You'll just have to, become a member, which is super inexpensive. I believe it's like $1 or something like that to become a member, and then you'll have access to their bigger grants, their $10,000, $20,000 grants, stuff like that. So um, actually, one of our members actually won last week, I want to say. The only thing is you have to be on the live to claim the grant. So every Tuesday and Friday at 3 o'clock Eastern time, they come on live and they give away. They pretty much draw your name at random, and you just pretty much just have to. It's super easy to set up a profile and set up to apply. And I definitely think you guys could take full advantage of that for sure. So actually, let me make sure I post that link in the chat real quick.
Class, like in high school. I didn't do it.
So real quick, Farmer P, while I'm looking for that link, if an investor offers you a limited amount of funding, but only if you can explain your business idea in 30 seconds using only 3 words, what would those 3 words be and why?
We are the solution.
I love it.
Um,
I love it. I love it. Love it.
okay.
Explaining why? Because we can build farms. We are educators, and also we build farms anywhere.
I love it. It's definitely needed. It's definitely needed.
Also organic too.
Appreciate y'all. Appreciate you. All right. So I'm about to post this link. Make sure you guys copy and paste this link in your notes real quick. Definitely, I want you guys to take full advantage of that. And real quick, I'm gonna pretty much go over some, like I said, some key elements when it comes to funding and investment. A few things I'll pretty much touch on is types of funding options, bootstrapping and self-funding, which we all pretty much know about. I'm pretty sure if you're a small business owner, you know all about bootstrapping and putting into your own business. Business loans and credit, and crowdfunding and grants, which is something that I'm getting more companies acquainted to for the most part. I don't want to hold you guys up too much, so I ain't gonna go through this whole outline. But I just want to make sure that, because I know most companies that I come across, they only think of a few ways to get funding and a few different options. They don't really think about all of the other options that they have. Um, and there are several ways to fund your business, each with their pros and cons, and that's really up for you to really, weigh those pros and cons. Some may be better fit for your business depending on your goals, industry, and financial needs at the end of the day. And because we have so many different people come on, and we help so many different businesses and different industries. We want to make sure that we pair you guys up with the right funding and the right, key options for yourself. So the number one option, like I said before, is of course the bootstrapping, and self-funding. I think we all start off bootstrapping it unless you, had a rich uncle or a rich father or rich parents or something like that. We all kind of gotta do what we gotta do to get it up, get it off the ground using your personal savings or revenue from either a job or revenue from your business that actually that you're actually running, right? Business loans and credit, is another one. Borrowing money to basically be repaid over time. Sometimes I know sometimes we may have a stigma on loans and different things like that, but it's so many different types of loans. I know most of us really don't have a lot of information when it comes to credit. I know I didn't, getting into, the world of entrepreneurship. That's why, we're blessed to have people like Mr. Fix It that can come on and, that have came into our lives and, and we can be able to call on him and link him up with different business owners. Matter of fact, real quick, if you haven't got a chance, I don't think none of you guys got a chance to talk to Mr. Fix It, but I'm gonna actually, hopefully, he gets on a little bit. But if not, I'm gonna actually get his availability, and I definitely want to link each one of you guys up with him, and set up a consultation with him to figure out what some of your options when it comes to either loans or credit lines or different options when it comes to funding. Another one, crowdfunding. I know a lot of people have trouble getting into this one because we all have this stigma. Well, most of us have this stigma where we most people is just too good to ask for something. So you want to make sure that you get the community involved though. Right? Even if it's just raising small amounts of money from for different projects, but those small amounts add up. So knowing how to raise those small amounts from a large amount of people can really, really be vital, when it comes to, building capital for your business. It's a couple platforms out there that actually specialize in crowdfunding as well. So maybe a little later on, if you're interested, I'll send you guys some links to a few and I'll send you guys a few resources when it comes to crowdfunding, so you guys can look into that. I know all of you guys probably know about GoFundMe and different things like that, but it's a few more out there as well that specify and really is catered to businesses in itself. I know GoFundMe is most of the time when you see people actually successful with GoFundMe is something where they have an emergency or something like that. But it is some other platforms out there that specialize in crowdfunding for businesses. So you guys want to make sure, even on your own time, you want to make sure that you guys are looking into that. Another one is grants, non-repayable funds from governments and organizations, which is a huge one because, like I said, it's non-repayable, So we I know a few months ago we had Dr. Jessica on. She's actually a grant writer. She's actually been a grant writer for probably over 20 years, and she was able to break down, all of the different qualifications when it comes to grants and all of the different duties when it comes to grant writers as well. So make sure you guys check out that recap. It's actually posted on our brainstorming session landing page. So make sure you guys go back on that recap. She dropped a lot of jewels for you guys. So I want to make sure you guys get that. And then we're thinking about bringing her back on maybe in the next couple weeks as well. So make sure you guys be on the lookout for that as well. Another option I want to talk about is equity finance, right? Selling a share of your business to investors in exchange for funding. I know we all, I know, and if you haven't, I know we all should have seen Shark Tank or watch Shark Tank. If you're a business owner, you should definitely watch Shark Tank. But that's pretty much what that is. They're giving away a piece of their business in exchange for funding. So equity financing can be great, especially if you're already, off the ground, if you already got started, if you already have, if you already kind of hit the ground running, if you already have sales and different things like that, equity financing is super great. I know even with us, we have a few angel investors that we work with as well. So, pretty much, it's all about, like I said before, it's all about, really kind of weighing your pros and cons based on your business, based on your industry, and based on your needs when it comes to capital. So, real quick, can you guys put in the chat, or if you want to go ahead and unmute yourself, if you guys have actually been successful with any one of these options? if you've been successful with bootstrapping or self-funding, if you've been successful with, securing business loans and credit, if you've been successful with crowdfunding, if you've been successful with, gaining grants, or if you've been successful with equity financing, go ahead and either throw them ones in the chat, or you can just go ahead and unmute yourself because we don't have a lot of people on today.
Did you say we can make comments?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Well, I will say that I did start my business with bootstrapping. One, because when you start with an idea, most people don't want to invest in your idea. So you have to get it started and moving and let them see that it's something of value. And after then, they can start seeing value and they would like to have a piece of what you got. And then that's where you can go for those equity investors, because that's the second step. You want people who believe and watched and saw you grow, then they'll be more willing to be a part of what you're doing. And what we did afterwards was got a grant writer, because as a for-profit business, it is profitable for you to have a nonprofit. So we got a grant writer and we did give her the Hello Skip so that she could have time to focus on that rather than me trying to run the business and still do those things too, because they're time consuming. So we did hand that off, delegate that to someone else so that we can pay attention to being in the race and doing the things that we need to do to stay focused. So I believe that everyone should use all the forms of funding their business, but get started. Don't wait to get money to get started. Just get started.
Yeah.
And move forward. And Miss Berry, I can't wait to see your candles. Yes, I am a candle nerd.
Most definitely, most definitely, most definitely. Anybody else had any successful or any success in securing funding through any one of these options, whether it's bootstrapping and self-funding, business loans and credit, crowdfunding, grants, or equity finance? I know we all bootstrapping. I know we all bootstrapping. And like Angelina said, just sometimes you just gotta get out there, jump out there, and kind of bump your head a little bit, and really for most part put some miles on your business because like you said, people want to see if you're serious. They want to see, what have you done already. And it's nothing like showing people that you're serious, by putting up your own money for the most part. Have anybody else had any success with any of these other funding options before we move on? You can go ahead and unmute yourself if you want. All right, so I want to touch on business loans and credit, right? Because a lot of people, have trouble understanding, the different elements when it comes to business loans and credit. And at the end of the day, sometimes bootstrapping isn't enough. You want to bring in that extra capital, especially if you're in a specific industry where you just need large amounts of capital to kind of get you started. And loans usually come from banks, credit unions, and online lenders, right? Common types of loans include term loans, right, which is fixed amounts repaid over a set amount of time, right? SBA loans, government-backed loans with low interest rates. So, if you're not on SBA.org, definitely type it in. They have a bunch of different resources for business owners. We've definitely been successful securing some loans from the SBA in the past for multiple members, and even our business, a couple of our businesses that we've grown back in the day. So government backed loans with low interest rates, you can't beat it, right? Business lines of credit, right? flexible, which is, flexible borrowing up to, a set limit, and this is something that, people like Mr. Fix It can kind of, help you guys understand a little bit more. We actually do host our Standing on Business webinar hosted by Mr. Fix It, where he goes into more detail about funding and, just financial literacy as a whole. So I'm gonna actually send out a reminder to you guys the next time we actually have that. We usually have hosted every last Thursday of the month. So I'm gonna send you guys a confirmation. And if you haven't gotten on one of those webinars, you definitely want to type in. We go over a lot of important information, and and for the most part, qualifications from my point of view is super important for us to understand when it comes to securing funding. You want to make sure that you know the qualifications and you know what you qualify for when it comes to whether it comes to down to receiving a loan or a grant, right? So we want to make sure, that's something that we go over every Standing on Business webinar. We want to make sure that you guys, have those qualifications, and you just what you need to do to get qualified if you don't already. So some of the pros and cons of business loans, right? Loans give you capital without giving up ownership, but you'll have to make regular payments with interest, even if your business hits a rough patch, right? And I think this is where some of the negative stigmas come in, and some of the and so I think this is where some people kind of get scared because we all have those rough patches, right? But most people kind of they try to stay away from loans because they're worried about repaying that loan. But chances make champions, right? So you should come doing the pilots and stuff. This thing, every black guy. At the end of the day, you want to make sure that you're taking those chances. But you want to make sure, and this is something I can't stress. I can't stress enough. You always want to make sure you have a plan behind what you're doing with the funds. You don't. I think we've talked about this multiple times. You don't want to just most people only focus on getting the funding, but and this is why most lenders require a business plan, right? And real quick, throw the ones in the chat if you actually have a business plan already. Let's see who got them business plans, and throw some tools in the chat if you don't have a business plan, because this is super, super important. And if you're just tapping in, make sure you guys introduce yourself in the chat, post your websites, post your social medias, and post where you're listening in from as well. I know we got some new people on. We're gonna actually double back on you guys and give you guys the floor to introduce yourself. And I want to get you guys to get into our icebreaker question as well. But yeah, throw the ones in the chat if you already have a business plan, and throw them twos in the chat if you don't have a business plan. Let's go, let's go, let's go. I only see a couple two. I only see one, two, and a couple ones. What's going on? I hope everybody got a business. Let's get it. Let's get it. And if you don't have a business plan, make sure you guys get with this. That's definitely something that we can help you guys out with. We want to make sure we have that plan of action in place. So real quick before I move on, I want to double back because I want to give everybody a chance to introduce themselves, and I want to hear some more answers on this icebreaker question. You guys already know we love our icebreaker questions, so I want to get back. I want to kind of double back on that real quick. Who do I see? Can I actually get Empress? Can you actually unmute yourself, Queen, and introduce yourself, and give me one problem that you're solving within the community before we get into it?
One problem that I'm Empress Sheen. I am part of Noble Shungite Farms, where we actually Farmer P is on here. He's the founder. I'm the president. So I'll probably just let him discuss more about the farm, but we do a lot of community work, where we go out and we teach people how to grow sustainable food, organic sustainable food. We build up farms, gardens. We host educational classes. We recently I my 9 to 5, I work for Habitat for Humanity International, so that's community work as well. But we just had a farmers event that I'm going to post on our website, where I want to bring Habitat sustainable housing with community gardens. So I'm excited about the possibilities when it comes to that. My personal business that I'm in the process of starting is a medical courier company. But the twist with my courier company is that I offer services for farmers who create holistic products like tinctures and other things that are good for your health. They I feel like there's no platform for it, so where people can receive these items, because we talk about it. You'll see it on social media. How can I take this for that? Where do I buy it? How do I utilize it? So it's me just connecting the holistic world with logistics, because there's no service that I found out there. So that's what I do. And what was the other question?
So real quick before we get into the icebreaker question, I want to also know what is one challenge that you're overcoming with their company.
With my company?
Mm-hmm.
Well, one thing is, so startup cost is a big deal for me. And one thing that I've noticed, and you mentioned it, is no knowing what knowing my qualifications, right? I get sent a lot of information about funding, grants and loans, but I felt intimidated because I really didn't take the time to really dive into them and research them to make sure that I qualified. There was some that I qualified. I mean, I applied for, I didn't even qualify. I was just doing something. So basically, just when you're looking for funding, do your research, make sure you're applying and you have your ducks in a row.
Definitely.
That's it.
No, most definitely. And like you said, definitely got to have your ducks in a row. I think most people only think about the funding part, like, oh, I need money. But you want to always dial back, because a lot of you can save you. First of all, you can save yourself a lot of time and a lot of headache. You don't have to go through all these applications, and you look up, you getting denied, and you don't really know why. But having that plan of action as well. Because it's like, okay, once you get the funding, then what? We've had a lot of people. And I think this is one of the reasons why, there's a bad stigma around credit, as well, because most people get the credit, they get these credit lines or they get these loans, but they might not have a strong plan behind what they're gonna do with it, and before you know it, it's gone. Now you're in debt. Without having, the main point is to get this capital and increase your revenue so you can pay it back plus more. So I'm really big on business planning, and making sure that you understand your pros and cons and exactly what it is that you need as well. So again, maybe I ain't get enough ones in the chat too. So again, if you guys already have a business plan, put the ones in the chat. Or if you don't have a business plan yet, put some tools in the chat, and we'll be sure to reach out to you guys and get your business plan together. So real quick, I want to go into this icebreaker question, Empress, which is, if an investor offered you unlimited funding, but only if you could explain your business idea in 30 seconds using only 3 words, what would those 3 words be and why?
Wow.
gotta
Oh, wow.
get that brain going.
I know. Unlimited funding. Um, uh, what's that word? That they used during the pandemic, when only the workers, like the medical workers.
Essential.
Essential. Okay. Essential, longevity, and consistency.
I love
Um, those are the three. I the three words that I would use. Do I have to go into those
You
further?
don't have to.
Why?
You don't have to. You don't have
Okay, but those are the ones that I would use: essential, longevity, and consistency.
to. But I love it. I love it. I appreciate you, Queen. Make sure you post if you haven't already. Make sure you post your info in the chat. And
Okay.
and again, if you guys, anybody that's on, if you're just getting on, if you hadn't gotten a chance to, make sure you guys post your info in the chat, introduce yourself, post your website, social media, so post where you're listening in from too. Don't forget to follow somebody else. Type into somebody else, connect with somebody else. That's what this is all about. I want to make sure we are connecting the dots, making sure that we're connecting powerful people like yourselves with each other. And that's what this is all about. Again, and if you guys can please change, if you need to, please put your names by your name. Please put your names by your profile, so I can call on you guys. So I know a few of you have default and say iPhone and stuff like that. So make sure you guys change that, rename your profile so I can call on you guys. Real quick, let me get my big brother on here, Tony. What's going on, Tony? Go ahead and unmute yourself when you get a chance. I want you to go ahead and introduce yourself. Talk about one problem that you're solving within the community.
What's going on? Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. How you
Hey,
feeling?
everybody. How everybody doing? Hope everybody's doing good on this Wednesday evening. So you say one problem that let me get that whole question again.
So what's one problem that you're solving in the community? Well, first introduce yourself and then tell us what's one problem that you're solving in the community with your company.
Oh, okay. My name is Tony Tuggle. I own two companies, actually maybe three, but I own a company called MacPack Events Entertainment, where we deal with marketing, promotion, and doing concerts and tours to that level, to whatever level you want, from 1,500 all the way up to about 5 million in concerts. So I'm with a group of guys that do some of the major tours around the country. We also have me and my wife, we also have a clothing line, which is D&D Lifestyle. And we've had that for about 10 years, about 10, 12 years. And as far as what I'm solving in the community, we're personally at this point I'm not solving anything in the community, but what I try to do is I try to be a beacon to the community for those people that want to listen and hear and try not to go through the same mistakes that I have gone or she has gone through over the years. One of my companies, my event company, somebody just reminded me the other day that I've had this company for about 20 years. And like I said, our clothing brand has been around for like about 10, 12 years. And our merchandising company has just started the first part of this year. Um, what I can say about this game of right now, we're in a scare zone, and what I mean by scare zone is the powers that be, the people that control a lot of the media, they influence the media. We have what is not a recession, but it's presented like a recession. So people are in position where they're trying to save every dime that they can, or they're trying to get themselves in position to make us to save money instead of spending money. And what that's doing is people are not spending money as frivolously as they have been, like the earlier part of this year. And I know a lot of it has to do with the economy. A major part of it has to do with this election that's coming. Uh, so sometimes you're going to have to tighten up your belt, tighten your shoestrings, and if you have to pivot or change in direction, and so be it. You just have to get tight because it's getting tight out here right now. But there's a lot of money still out here, and so you just have to be willing to change directions if the money is drying up, so to speak. And it's really not, but the perception is that it is. So you just have to be in position to put your dollars in a position where you can gain later on within what pretty much after this election, because then everything will go back in a GoPro mode. And what I mean by that is people will start spending, like they had it and they never had it in the first place. uh, so again, yeah. So, and to your question, I've never had a business plan. Before I had a business, I had business plans. When I got a business, I never used a business plan because for me, I never needed it because I never asked people for money. When I didn't have my business, I asked people for money and it didn't work. When I had my business and I started making money, I never needed. And the thing was, the people were coming to me for the money. The banks were throwing money at me left and right. And that's the kind of position you want to be in. But a lot of times what we do is I didn't realize when they were throwing money at me, I didn't take it because I was self-sufficient. And usually that's when you're supposed to take as much money as you can. It's not that you got to use it, but you have it, and then you just, but you got to be really, really, really dedicated. You got to be really, really, really strong and focused on what you're doing. So you just won't just go out there and just throwing the money out and just to be doing it, just be putting out there. But you can leverage money. You can leverage not bad credit, but you can leverage debt, good debt, not bad debt, but you can leverage good debt. And so, I don't know. I mean, what other questions you want to ask me, bro?
No. I mean, you just touched on a lot of. I mean, we were just talking about bootstrapping and self-funding, which most of us, we all start. We all start off there. Because they want to see, what type of collateral they want to see, what you already done. And I think, if you're an entrepreneur, that's where you had to start in the first place. And so real quick, I got a good icebreaker question. Speaking of funding, if an investor was to offer you unlimited amount of funding, but only if you could explain your business idea in 30 seconds using 3 words, what would it be and why?
I mean, my 3 words is always going to be marketing, marketing, marketing.
I love it. I love it. I love it.
Because without marketing, you have no business. You can do business without marketing, but you're not going to make no money. You can make a money as individual as yourself. You can become a millionaire, but you cannot become a multi-millionaire. So marketing is the key, not branding. Branding is something that comes later on. People get promotion, people get marketing, and people get branding mixed up. They think it's all the same, and it's not. It's totally different. Every one of those things are totally different. But you have to be able to market yourself or market your services, and you have to be able to do it you have to be able to level up, keep leveling up. And what I mean by that is every month, you need to have some type of promotion going on, some type of campaign, some type of marketing strategy. The calendar year has so many events within that calendar year, so you can capitalize off that calendar year. But then because the social media has made it so easy for you to create your own quote unquote marketing company, you can be your own marketing company. You need a marketing company. I don't care what it is that you do out here. You have to think marketing first. People think, let me get all the product in the world. No, when I didn't have nothing, when I started my companies, when I started off, I always created the marketing campaign because that's what I learned, and I didn't know any better, and it has always worked for me. Even when I was in my 20s, I never had it. I had to have certain credentials, license, and this, that, and the third, before I could open up. I didn't believe in that, and I'm glad I didn't, because that's what gave me the strength and gave me the confidence to move forward. So even when you could be down in your luck, or I'm gonna tell you one thing that's really, really good. When you are your brokest, that's when you get the most creative. When you have nothing, when you are flat ass broke, that's when you become your most creative person. And then whatever it is that you're trying to do, because you're forcing yourself to think and create. Whereas sometimes when you're have enough money, you kind of relax. And sometimes some people, because this has happened to me a lot of times.
Definitely.
But when you don't have it, that's when you are your most creative. And what also I say, when you don't have it like you want to have it, then you need to get out of your house. You need to get out of doing the same old things, because you have to be able to see stuff. You have to be able to be inspired. Yeah, everything is really at the touch of our hands right now with the cell phones, but you have to get out into the community. You have to do things, even if it's just riding around the city, whatever that city is that you're in, because that's when the lights gonna kick. That's when you get the aha moment, or go out of town. That's when you're gonna get the aha moment. It's gonna be like, okay, this is what I need to do. This is what I should do. It's just like it gives you energy, but when you're in a room and you're in that room by yourself, you're focusing on all the negative stuff that's happening to you. And so you have to put yourself in a moving, when your body moves, your body starts thinking. And then when you're around other people, then you start creating, because somebody can say that one little thing that can just a light bulb and switch, and then you get it. And when I like to say the GoPro, like the camera. Well, the concept of the GoPro is just meaning taking action, meaning moving towards whatever it is that you're trying to move toward, whether you're going to win, lose, or die. But the fact that you're going to die if you don't move. So if you're making moves, if you're going into a direction of something that you don't know, it's something that's going to click for you, and it's going to light's going to click in and say, okay, I got it. So, and then going back again, you do not have to have all your eggs in the basket, which means most people try to wait till they get everything done before they press go in whatever it is they're doing. Don't believe that shit. Excuse my language. You have to do the action, take the action.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We were just talking about that. Actually, Miss Angelin brought that same thing up, and I think, and just to double back on what you were saying, even about the business plans, I didn't start off with a business plan either. I can't lie. I'm gonna be totally honest with you guys. It got to the point where I was years in it, before I even, drafted up my first business plan. But I will say, once I did the business plan, my first business plan, it was more of a confirmation for me, because a lot of the things that I incorporated within that business plan, I was already doing. So,
Great.
it gave me that confirmation that I really, really needed, because, growing up where I grew up, a lot of people wasn't being entrepreneurs like that, legitimate entrepreneurs. So, I didn't really have too many role models to kind of go off of until later on, when I did get mentors and different things like that. But our business plan definitely, was a confirmation. So, even if you already, got your business going on, and, even if you're successful in it, I think, having and really laying out a plan of action.
I agree.
For you, because even if no one sees it, even if you're not asking for no money from a lender or nothing like that, or sending it out to no investors, it's good for you to see, and it's good for you to see, like, oh, okay, well, I am on the right path. Or it's good for you to say, okay, well, dang, I do need to do more of this. I did it. Look, I've been doing a little bit of that, but now I need to do more of that. And it was something that you said earlier, that it'll break down the difference between branding and marketing. Because you're right, a lot of people don't know the difference. A lot of people do think it's all in one. And that's something that, that I have to always constantly explain to different brands, because that's the world that we in.
Correct.
Marketing.
Well, they made branding cliche. They made it catchy. They made it commercial, and then, people gravitated to the word branding, But don't get it wrong. I do believe that you do need a business plan, because like if something was to happen to me, everything's supposed to be able to still continue to go. And people need, in my family, my business associates, whatnot, they have to be able to follow the steps of where we got. Now I got everything in my head, and you know, I document a lot of stuff. But yeah, I totally agree that you do need a business plan, and it's great to have, and you can use it because it's like you said, it's your blueprint. It's your blueprint to your success.
Mm-hmm.
But again, if you don't get off your ass, if you don't get out your house, wherever it is you live in, if you don't go try to network and put yourself around people that's already established and doing what you want to do, 9 times out of 10, it's not going to happen.
Yes,
Not
sir.
saying it can't happen, but it will happen a lot faster once you put yourself in the right element. And it's so hard oftentimes when you have this passion and this dream, and you really, really want everybody that know you or that's close to you to feel the energy that you feel. And if they don't have that, then they could be dream killers to you.
Yes.
And it's not their fault. It's your fault, because you have to, not specifically you, is you have to know that God gave you that dream. God gave you that passion. God gave you that desire. So that don't mean stay. If you need to go to the next city, then go to the next city. If you need to go to a convention or go to an event or get a mentor, preferably one that's really, really doing it. I mean, really, really making it happen. And then learn from them and go to the next level. But I think what happens is we get comfortable with being uncomfortable.
Mm-hmm.
And so then if we don't see everybody doing what it is, and we just kind of fall to being average and not realizing that we average.
Yeah.
You know, you gotta really, really get uncomfortable with doing something that you don't want to do. And case in point, like, you know, like the journey that we came from here. You know, before I had moved to Georgia 10 years ago, in my little small city, I knew I wanted to move to Buckhead. You know, that's because I kept hearing Buckhead this, and it was just because I was seeing it all on TV. I had traveled here a lot of times, but I knew that if I didn't prepare myself mentally and physically, and what I mean by physically, I knew that the cost of living in Buckhead at that time was about $1,400. And that was 10 years ago. And so I purposely went and found the most expensive place. And mind you, I have homes in my little small city, but I went and rented out a spot that it was like $1,300 a month, me and my wife, which is now. And everybody thought we was crazy. And I said, I had to change the way we were thinking for a whole year. So I had to put us in an uncomfortable situation, because we weren't used to paying that type of rent 1,300 10 years ago. We weren't used to that. And so it made us uncomfortable, but I found that God gonna always make a way for you if you want it. You know, you can get in any door you want to get into. So by us doing it, it mentally prepared us. Actually, we was paying $1,400 in that city. We was paying $1,400 a month for a whole year. But what happened was we started seeing the lifestyle of the people that were in that community. We started seeing how they were moving, and we moved the same way. But it's something when you see other people moving the same way you want to move. And then it was all kind of nationalities in it, and which was a great thing. So we were $1,400, and I'm gonna make this short. We was $1,400 for a whole year, and then we left. My first unit here was $1,300. So, and we ain't look back. And I paid a hell of a lot more than that now. But again, it put me in a what makes you uncomfortable it challenges you and it pushes you. And you know, if you don't feel like you're being challenged, if you feel like you ain't being challenged, then you're gonna get comfortable with doing the same old thing.
Definitely.
And then you get the same old results.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. No, I definitely agree with that. You know, same here. You know, it was to the point where I had to push myself in the same in the same level for sure. So I appreciate you for sure, bro. You always
No
drop
problem.
gems on this main. Real quick, who else we got on here? Let me get is it Tavon? Let me get you to introduce yourself, King, and give us one solution or one problem that you're solving with your company. If you go ahead and unmute yourself, Tavon. I don't even know if you can hear us.
I don't think he can hear you.
I don't think he can hear us. Tavon, can you hear us? Go ahead and unmute yourself and go ahead and introduce yourself. Let me see. There we go. There we
Can
go.
y'all hear me?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Go ahead and introduce yourself and give us one problem that you're solving in the community with your company.
We're actually in the community right now solving problems. We are a crime intervention organization. Let me show you all of us.
Love it. I love
We
it.
out. That's the whole team. We in the community every day, bringing awareness to consciousness. Show you all of them. That's what we do every day. I'm gonna let you it's all of us in the community, pretty much. Hey, nigga. Yep, yep, yeah. Yeah, that's the flow. All of us in the community. That's the flow. So what we do is we intervene and mediate situations in our community without the police. It's a community-based organization. Anytime there's a problem, we get the call, we come out, we funded by the mayor's office, and it's all community-based. Everybody you see pretty much have businesses. I'm a realtor, so I'm in real estate, and it's all about bringing a higher awareness to our children. Mainly, the ones we are affecting are the ones who are considered high risk, the shooters in the community. So we out in the community passing our resources, just bringing awareness to de-escalating our own situation because we caused it, so let's stop it ourselves.
Yes, sir. Yes,
So that's
sir.
what we do. So,
And what city are you guys based in?
St. Louis, Missouri,
Hey, that's what's up. That's what's up.
one of the highest crime-rated cities in America. We have 4 sites that we're working out of. I manage the South Side. We got 2 in the city. Actually, 3 in the city, 1 in the South Side, but we're all about intervention and de-escalating our own problems.
I love that. I love that. I love that for sure. Respect, respect. So tell me, what's one challenge that you're overcoming with your organization right now?
One challenge that we're overcoming, I would say collectively putting leaders and managers in one room and figuring out a plan that we all can collectively work to plan. You got different leaders from all over the world working together, one purpose, and that's kind of a challenge because everybody is a leader in their own way and they have their own plan. And most of the ones you see right now are from the streets. They have served time in the penitentiary 10, 15, 25 years. So they used to be the problem, but now they are the solution. So putting them in the room together on one plan, which is proactive plan, is kind of a challenge because you know where they come from.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I definitely understand that for sure, for sure. So real quick, let's go into the icebreaker question, which is if an investor offered you unlimited funding, but you can own but only if you could explain your business idea in 30 seconds using only 3 words, what would those 3 words be and why?
That's for me.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I would say invest in real estate. Real estate is to me where the wealth will be forever. You can never get rid of land. Land will always be here. So I would say invest in real estate.
I love that.
That's about 4 words, but real estate.
Nah, I love it. I love it. I appreciate that, King, for sure. Definitely, if you can drop your info in the chat, man. I would love for us to, build a little bit more. And it's so crazy because I'm actually in your city, so I'll be in your city in a couple more days, and I love what you guys are doing. And shit, maybe we need to get out there, you know what I mean, and really document, and maybe we can set up or something like that as well. So definitely leave your information in the chat so we can connect.
I will. I mean, I will. I'm glad you're in the city. I actually opened a bed and breakfast about a year ago, so I would love to meet you. How can we collab and make it work? And I'll definitely input that in the chat.
Sir, yes, sir. Let's get the mob on board for sure. I love it. So I don't think we got any more people. So I'm gonna leave you guys with the assignment. Every week, I wanna leave you guys with a positive assignment, and make sure that we're just moving forward at the end of the day. So what I want you guys to do is write down one step you will take this week to move closer to securing funding, whether it's researching loans, starting a pitch deck, or creating a crowdfunding campaign. And I'm gonna actually post that in the chat for you guys as well, so just in case you want to copy and paste it in your notes. Again, I want you guys to take this week to write down one step you will take this week to move closer to securing funding, whether it's researching loans, starting a pitch deck, or creating a crowdfunding campaign. And I can't wait to see you guys next week. And I can't wait to just see what you guys come up with and see how we can actually add more to what you guys come up with. If you guys need any information or have any questions for me, make sure you guys contact me directly. Let's set up a consultation. Let's set up a meeting. However we need to do it. And if you guys know anybody who would benefit from our platform, from our community, from the mob, actually send them our website. I'm actually post that website in the chat for you guys as well. Send them the site so they can get more information about our organization. We also have an affiliate program. So anybody that you guys refer as a member or refer to any one of our resources and we lock them in. We love, spreading the wealth throughout the community. We do a 15% kickback, or we offer a $250 credit towards, whatever resource that you may need for your project or for your business as well. Again, I just posted our website in that chat. So make sure you guys copy and paste. And again, if you guys have any questions or concerns for me, make sure you guys hit me up directly so we can just continue on building. Again, I appreciate you guys for hopping on every single week. And I appreciate you guys building with us every single week. And if you guys can, please make sure you guys reserve and confirm your attendance for next week. I'd love to have all of you guys back on. We're gonna touch on another topic and dive deeper into how we can actually build and build up our community and in economy for the most part. So again, I appreciate you guys. Happy win day, another win day, and I'll talk to you guys shortly.